This map tracks the divergent timeline from Mother's Day 2026. If you live in the United States, Canada, or Australia, you have until May 10th to prepare. If you live in the UK, your deadline arrives much earlier, on March 15th. That UK date is tied to Mothering Sunday, a centuries-old tradition where people return to their home parish, or mother church, often bringing along a traditional fruitcake to mark the occasion. In Mexico, the holiday is locked on May 10th every year. The focus there leans heavily on presence over physical presence, often starting the day with a morning mariachi serenade. Thailand observes the day on August 12th to coincide with the birthday of Queen Sirikit. The custom involves presenting white jasmine, a flower chosen to symbolize the purity of maternal love. In Ethiopia, families travel from across the country for Antroshit, a 3-day communal feast. Meanwhile, in Peru, celebrations extend to joyful gatherings in cemeteries to ensure deceased maternal relatives remain part of the family structure. These international customs expose a gap in the standard Western playbook. They prioritize emotional presence and shared time, whereas the modern Western approach relies almost entirely on retail transactions. The irony is that the American holidays started out with exactly that kind of anti-commercial sentiment. Anna Jarvis created the day in 1908 to honor maternal sacrifice after the death of her own mother. She organized the very first official Mother's Day service at Andrews Methodist Episcopal Church in Grafton, West Virginia. For that service, Jarvis chose the white carnation as the official emblem. It was a simple, accessible symbol of respect. But within a decade, the floral and greeting card industries hijacked the concept. Jarvis spent the rest of her life fiercely protesting and boycotting the very holiday she invented, angry that companies were commodifying her sentimental idea. This diagram illustrates exactly what Jarvis was fighting against. By 2026, annual spending on generic flowers and pre-written cards has reached $25 billion. Yet reported metrics of maternal satisfaction on the holiday remain completely flat. The disconnect happens because generic gifts ignore the mental load, the invisible, exhausting labor of managing a household's schedules, needs, and logistics. A store-bought bouquet does not untangle this knot. That leaves you with a strict choice for 2026. A successful Mother's Day requires either financial capital invested in functional relief or personal time invested in removing her burdens. Market analysis shows the gift economy pivoting towards biohacking and wellness tech. Passive items are being replaced by active clinical tools, like medical-grade LED masks and percussive recovery devices. This matrix plots our options. Wellness tech lands firmly in the top left quadrant. It requires high financial cost and demands that you research clinical efficacy, but the manual effort on your part is low. The outcome here is strong. You are providing her with a daily, active system for physical recovery and stress management long after holiday ends. However, there is a trade-off. If you hand over high-tech hardware without a vulnerable, handwritten note attached, the gift reads as a sterile household appliance. It feels transactional. If you want to deploy capital without the clinical edge, the alternative is sentimental luxury. Items like lab-grown diamond initial jewelry serve as a permanent, wearable archive of the family's history. Investing financial capital only works if the item definitively elevates her daily physical comfort or provides a flawless emotional keepsake. On the opposite side of the spectrum is sweat equity. This covers bespoke DIY items, like crafting a birth flower wall hanging from scratch. Bringing our matrix back, we plot these in the bottom right. The input is a high-time investment. The outcome is pure validation, because the mother can visibly see the effort you spent on her. The risk here is strictly in the execution. Poor craftsmanship takes a highly sentimental idea and turns it into mandatory household clutter that she now feels obligated to display. This leads to a trend growing in 2026, the total active service. This is the complete assumption of all household logistics for 48 hours. It means executing a laundry clearance, where clothes are washed, dried, and actually put away. It means delivering a slow morning, where she gets her coffee without a single person asking where to find their shoes. It directly neutralizes her mental load. But this is an invisible gift. There is nothing to unwrap. If you ask her a single logistical question during her designated break, like where the detergent is kept, you destroy the entire value of the gesture. Acts of service require zero financial capital, but they demand flawless, completely independent execution to yield a high emotional return. Let's talk about the card. In 2026, generic, glittery digital forwards and standard drugstore rhymes are losing their impact. They signal a lack of thought. Digital platforms are seeing a move toward micro-captions. These are short, honest lines that explicitly acknowledge the unseen sacrifices a mother makes behind closed doors. The most effective structure combines emotional damage with humor. You point out a truth about her resilience, pair it with a joke about your own chaotic behavior, and create a powerful moment of validation. Because mothers respond more profoundly to expressions that acknowledge their quiet sacrifices, applying honest, unpolished linguistic effort has become the most effective way to cut through the noise, regardless of your budget. This flowchart maps out your final decision. You have to start by identifying your primary constraint. If you are a time-poor optimizer, meaning you have budget but no free hours, your path leads to wellness tech. But you must pair that clinical hardware with a highly specific micro-caption so it doesn't feel cold. If you are a sentimental maker, low budget but plenty of time, your path goes to sweat equity. You build a bespoke DIY craft, or you execute a fully independent act of service. If you are buying for a mother who already has everything, or who is heavily burned out, you buy her absence. You route to the experience economy, like a destination spa, and give her total freedom from responsibility. Over a century ago, Anna Jarvis realized that thoughtless commercialism fails. We are seeing the exact same truth today. Specific, highly targeted effort succeeds. Whether you are presenting jasmine in Thailand or orchestrating a perfectly silent morning here at home, the objective is the same. It is the targeted recognition of the person